Okay, greetings everybody. It's a pleasure having you here. Yes, and today is the 1st of March. It's a brand new month, so happy new month to everybody. So this is the live market analysis where we are looking at what's happening out there using the fundamentals and technicals in order to get trading opportunities. I believe we're here because we want to make pips, and trust me, we can all make pips at the end of the day, right? A lot has been happening, right? Especially this year, early this year, with respect to the geopolitical issues with Russia and Ukraine. And of course, that has been a bit messy of late. And of course, with the many sanctions that have been placed on Russia as a whole, the central bank, companies, individuals, and all. And of course, this has crippled more or less the Russian ruble. You have seen the Russian ruble get beaten heavily, and let me just show you that quickly. This is the Russian ruble. It has taken a beating within a few weeks based on the issues. But then the crude oil has been appreciating, and of course, at $100 per barrel, it might even push higher some more, right? And then other than that, we have the issues of inflation. Yes, inflation has been on for a while now, and of course, central banks are trying to see what they can do with respect to that, to hike the rates or not hike the rates, or rather when to hike the rates, right? And of course, the COVID-19 is still very much with us, but has taken a back seat. And of course, Russia and Ukraine is what everybody is paying attention to. So we're going to look at a few charts now to see what we have in the market and if there's any opportunity. This is one that I have been eyeing for a while. This is the fiber, the Euro USD. I'm a big fan of fiber. I believe it's a bit easy to read, right? And of course, when you have the Euro USD pushing higher, you have the cable, most times you follow suit, but then the USD Switzerland francs tends to move in the opposite direction most times, right? So you can use that as little clues as to your trading. Now, when it came to market open, we had gaps. We had gaps from weekend based on the volatility that was still present in the market from last week's action, and then we had gaps in the market. If you look at the gaps for this Euro USD, it's yet to be filled. It's yet to be closed. And I'm sure the gap traders are looking towards that, right? And then if you look over here, we have an area here of support, some little support here. And then now, this is what we're looking out for. This area here, please pay attention to this, right? Because obviously you check on an update. We'll do an update for you to show you whether this area actually held, because this is the area of interest for us to get some longs in and then hopefully break out from this area here or flip zone. You can see we have it as support, resistance, 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 resistance. So hopefully this could break out and then push higher. If this should happen, then we could easily have about a few pips here at about 100 plus, and then maybe it could even push higher to this area of interest here, right? When mapping out your charts, yes, when mapping up your charts, make sure you map them out based on support, based on resistance, using price action, and then you check the calendar. Yes, let's check the calendar now. You check the calendar, and we'll be looking at the Forex Factory. We'll check the calendar to find out whether there's anything that can cause any sudden volatility in the market today. So let's flip over to the calendar that we have for today, the 1st of March. And if you look at what we have right in front of us, right, you'll notice that earlier this morning, we had the rate statement for Aussie, for the Australian dollar, which has been unchanged. It remains the same at 0.1. And if you look at the chart for the AUD USD, you didn't have any significant movement whatsoever. Now, later today, the key data to look out for would be for CAD. By 1:30 p.m. UK time, expect the GDP data for CAD to be out, and then we should have some form of volatility for the Canadian pairs. And then later by 3 p.m. UK time for the USD, we have the manufacturing PMI. Expect possible volatility as well across board for the dollar pairs, and of course also for gold as well. Right, so now based on what we have here, right, nothing much to pay attention to, nothing to be worried about as such, right? And then crossing back to the chart, let's flip over the chart and let's look for the opportunities for today. Don't forget this Euro USD. This is a key area of interest to watch today. I'm actually looking for long positions, and of course if I get entries, I'll definitely share with everybody as an update. And the cable, yes, the cable, we're looking out for cable for GBP USD to drop down some more and then to push higher. Remember we said for Euro USD and also for GBP USD, they tend to move in the same direction as well. But for this cable, you can see that the gap was closed yesterday when it was open here for a few pips. How many pips was that? I believe that was about 70 pips thereabouts, and then it was closed sooner than later yesterday. So we're looking out for the price on this cable to do its thing and then head over to this area here. If you look at this area here, we have a form of you can see what we're doing here. We're mapping out our charts, and that's what we said. Always map out your charts and then wait for price to get there and then look for good enough price action to jump in that direction. You can see we have some areas of support here, and then this is yet to be tested as resistance. So that means that hopefully this week we should have price get to this area, and then we should try to help it to get there. Now also I must also say that whether it's a downtrend or it's an uptrend, you can always trade with the trend. I can always trade against the trend as long as you have a good enough read of the market. Of course, the trend is your friend, and that's why that's what I would always advise, to follow the trend all times. Aussie, as we said earlier, nothing that significant happened based on the rate statement that remained unchanged at 0.1%. And over here, you should be expecting a sort of pullback here for longs to push higher. Let's see if we get that, right? Kiwi, that tends to move in the same manner as the Aussie. The same thing here, looking for a pullback here to push higher, right? Please pay attention to this over here, and then of course it's going to give us opportunities this week. Now look at what we had on the Aussie, right? I had to check this. Seeing this on the USD CHF, seeing this big candle and checking across board for the other dollar pairs, I noticed that this move was not as a result of the dollar, and then I had to go and scan for CHF. While scanning for CHF, you'll notice that okay, we had a pretty big move, right? But not as big as the USD CHF. And then scanning on other CHF pairs, wow, look at this one on the CHF JPY, and then crossing over to some other ones as well. You can see we're now having some pretty big moves based on the CHF. So look, if you look at what we have over here, you can easily tell that the CHF has been weak, right? Has been weak across board against other currencies. And then look at what happened. You can see there's some volatility with respect to the CHF. We mapped out our areas here. As you can see, support, form of resistance, support, resistance, and then we had resistance here. And then it smashed through this area only to get to this area here of support. You can see we had this mess up around here and then support here. So this whole area is key for possible entry, right? Pay attention to this area, possible entry to the downside, looking for shorts to take it back down, right? I repeat, looking for shorts to take it back down. The dollar yen, this is what we have on the dollar yen. It's sitting on a nice area of support. I repeat, it's sitting on a nice area of support, and then we should be looking out for something here. Look out for area of it could be price action like the hammers. I'm sure we know the hammers, or we know the pin bar, or maybe the engulfing. In this case, it's going to be bullish engulfing as you are looking forward to buying to take it back up. So this is what we have here also on the dollar yen. This is what we have also on the dollar yen. Remember, we said that we'll be focusing on the major currency pairs and gold, right? But then from time to time, we could be checking some other ones to find out if there are opportunities in the market. As an example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also one to pay attention to. Bitcoin is also one to focus on. And then, of course, Bitcoin for a while has been quiet, but then you must still take into consideration that the Bitcoin is one that can move in a pretty volatile manner and then give off some nice pips at the end of the day. So this is just a scan through. This is just a quick run through of what we have here for today. And then don't forget, I am focusing majorly on the Euro USD today, and I'm looking for opportunities to buy it. If this is the only one I get this week and it works and it gives me a good move to the upside, right, taking out here and then closing the gap here to push higher, then I will be good to go. How many trades do you need in a week? I repeat, how many trades do you need in a week, right? So now if you want to learn how to trade the proper way, you can reach out, you can send a direct message, have a free training that will give you the necessary information on price action, support and resistance, also mixed, that is as a strategy, also mixed with risk management, how to properly calculate your risk management based on your account balance to minimize losses, maximize profit, and then also psychology, trading psychology to be able to control your emotions, to be able to control your emotions, right? So let's pay attention. I'll definitely update this. By the way, if you have been following us for a little while, you notice that last week we made about 868 pips. Yes, we made about 868 pips in the market from gold. Gold gave us 540 from selling as a counter trend move. And then we had the Euro USD, the pound, GBP USD, and also we had the Kiwi NZD USD last week that added up to the 868 pips as a total. Let's see how many pips we're going to make total this week, right? Hopefully the market gives us good opportunities, and then of course we use that to make good pips and then also equates to good money at the end of the day. So it was a pleasure here for this live market analysis. If you have any question, comment below, send a DM, and let's see how we can help you out at the end of the day. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye. God bless. And trade safely. Use proper risk management and ensure to have visible stop loss in place. Thank you and goodbye.